Right now at noon, cold temperatures and freezing rain came down across northwest Arkansas this morning. We're breaking down everything on this weather impact alert day. And an American teacher is home from Russian captivity. What President Trump is saying about the return.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News at Noon.
Well, thank you for joining us today for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with meteorologist Stephen Elmore. I think we're both not recovered from this morning. Maybe you aren't either. It was a crazy morning in Benton County and some other counties too.
Well, for some places it was really crazy this morning. We had some snow, we had some sleet, we had some thunder,
sleet.
We had some lightning. That was occurring really everywhere early this morning, but it was the difference between 32 degrees and 33 degrees that made the big difference. Benton County, parts of Carroll, Madison had a lot of that frozen precipitation. The rest of the viewing area, though, just some isolated thunderstorms, a lot of that cold rainfall this morning. Good news is we're drying out heading into this afternoon. We take a look at radar going into the afternoon hours now. Temperatures still very much on the cooler side, right around that freezing point still in parts of northwest Arkansas. Still, even at the afternoon hour, lots of cloud coverage today, not a lot of sunshine. Not going to allow any of these temperatures to climb up very much today. I think actually we're pretty close to what our eventual daytime highs are going to be, even as we can progress this afternoon. Not going to get much warmer from where we are right now. Temperatures into those upper 30s and low 40s outside. There is still some moisture further out towards the west in between here and Tulsa that could result in a few more snowflakes coming down across the area. I think overall, though, if anything, it's going to be very minor outside, and you shouldn't expect much in the way of any additional snowflakes or sleet as we continue throughout the afternoon hours. By the time we get to this evening, though, there's always a chance that we can mix in a few more of those snowflakes as temperatures are going to be on the cooler side, and there's still lots of moisture left over, and temperatures plummet this evening going into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at tomorrow morning's forecast, and it looks brutal outside once again. That cold air is going to rush in overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. While we remain dry, it is going to be a very bitter start to the morning as you head out the door for your Thursday morning. Wind chill values in northwest Arkansas into the single digits across the river valley. We're going to see those wind chill values anywhere from the single digits just breaking into the teens for tomorrow. A very chilly start before a brief warm up going into the weekend. But I tell you what, Saturday, it looks like we have another chance for some widespread rainfall, and as temperatures drop during the evening hours, we could be talking about another round of some winter precipitation. We'll take a look at what that could look like coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Stephen. Well, we're learning more about a devastating house fire in Rogers with critical injuries. Let's go live to 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi. He's at the scene right now. Jacob, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Morgan, we are right here at South 14th Street in Rogers, and Don Lisi with the Rogers Police Department tells me that the call came around 8:07 this morning for officers to respond to the house that you see right here behind me. Now, the fire has since been put out, but this morning we've been here for a couple of hours, and it has been an active scene. We've seen the police department here, Black Hills Energy, as well as the Rogers Fire Department have all been on scene this morning. Now, Rogers Police says that there were 4 individuals in the house at the time of the fire, 1 adult and 3 juveniles, all transported to a local hospital. Police say 2 of the juveniles are in critical condition. Lisi adds that 2 of the officers who responded were also taken to the hospital for precautionary measures. Now, for how exactly this fire started, we are not yet sure. We are still looking for those answers. Lisi says that the Rogers Fire Department will be investigating that matter, and of course we'll share those details when we get them. But for now, I'm live in Rogers, covering news where you live. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Thanks, Jacob. And also right now at noon, police in Van Buren are searching for a missing 13-year-old. Savannah Renee Lynn Perrin was last seen at her home on Tuesday evening. She's 5'4", has straight red hair and blue eyes. Arkansas State Police believe she may be headed to Missouri on I-49 with someone named David. Anyone with any information about this is asked to contact Van Buren Police. And new at noon, a silver alert is activated for a missing 63-year-old man in Crawford County. The Crawford County Sheriff's Office says that Stephen Mark Law has been missing since Tuesday. Law was last seen on Kibler Road in Van Buren and may be traveling in a gray 2011 Chevy Cruze. He's described as being 5'9" with short, straight brown hair and blue eyes. Anybody with information is asked to contact the Crawford County Sheriff's Office. Fort Smith leaders are looking at ideas to address hundreds of water leaks. The board of directors suggested some during a study session. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shares that conversation.
Because of a system that's well over 100 years old, the city of Fort Smith is bound to have water leaks, says City Administrator Jeff Dingman.
You have to, dedicate crews and manpower to maintain those. And one of the problems we've had in terms of keeping up with that is keeping our crews with their equipment in good shape to where they can continually go out and fix these.
According to the December water leak report, the city repaired more than 1,600 leaks in 2024 and had 739 active leaks.
One thing that we've been doing is prioritizing leaks by the size and not necessarily the age. We are going to begin prioritizing by age as well as size.
It's something the board of directors wants to tackle. At a study session Tuesday, various ideas included declaring an emergency, putting out social media posts, and hiring contractors instead of more employees.
I think contracting and triaging situations allow these contractors to pick up work for their companies, but at the end of the day, they know that there is an ending window when they help us get caught up.
Some in the past have mentioned hiring plumbers to fix the leaks. Lance McAvoy, director of water utilities, says it probably won't work.
We have to have a licensed water distribution operator observe that. And that's very difficult to do when we have, if we take our licensed operator away from a crew to do that, then that crew can't work.
The conversations with the board will continue, but they overall want things done as quickly as possible to avoid any other issues.
Other kinds of problems are we looking at when we have water leaks that may not be terrible leaks in and of themselves, but they're impacting other parts of our infrastructure.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Elijah Andazola is back in jail. He was the man in the car with Shauna Cash when she hit and killed Pea Ridge police officer Kevin Apple. Now he's been charged with domestic assault, burglary, and false imprisonment stemming from an incident Monday night. Andazola was accused of being an accomplice to capital murder in the death of Officer Apple, was sentenced to 15 years of supervised probation. Court records show the Benton County prosecuting attorney reopened the cases against him and filed a petition to revoke his probation due to that incident on February 10th. Well, many people are rallying behind a Rogers family. This comes after a woman took to Facebook sharing a photo of a display in a yard. She believes the neighbor is targeting the Hispanic family renovating the house next door. She says over the course of several months, the person who lives here began placing signs and flags on his fence after a Hispanic family bought the house next door. So she took to Facebook to spread awareness and later created a GoFundMe to raise money to plant trees as a barricade and with enough money a fence to block the flags. In just 3 days, the GoFundMe has had over 200 donors and raised nearly $11,000. With community awareness came change. She says the resident removed the display Monday evening. Even so, her efforts continue.
I still would like to plant trees to create a nice visual screen from them because we don't know, this probably isn't quite over. We know how, as humans, we get our pride and ego hurt and we react. And so I want to create a screen that regardless of how the neighbor is feeling, what mood the neighbor is in, this family feels protected and safe.
A statement from the family reads in part, "We hope that our story will serve as a reminder that hate and racism have no place in our society." We're learning about a crash that left 1 child dead and multiple injured in Scott County. The Arkansas Department of Public Safety says the crash happened Monday on State Highway 80. The report says the vehicle exited a curve and overcorrected, leaving the highway and hitting a tree. The unnamed female child who died was a passenger in the car. Well, Pennsylvania school teacher Mark Fogel is a free man after arriving back on U.S. soil from Russia late last night. He had been wrongfully detained since 2021, but was released as part of a deal negotiated by the Trump administration. Natalie Brand has the details from Washington.
I feel like the luckiest man on earth right now.
Mark Fogel celebrated his release at the White House, saying love and support sustained him for 3.5 years in a Russian prison.
Knowing I had the support of my fellow Pennsylvanians, my family, my friends, it was so overwhelming. I will forever be indebted to President Trump,
The Pennsylvania teacher was arrested at the airport in Moscow in 2021 for having marijuana. His family said it was for medical reasons.
Mr. Witkoff, could you take a couple quick questions?
President Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, helped negotiate the deal and says Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was instrumental.
Behind the scenes, he was encouraging and pushing and looking for the right result, and it was helpful. It really was.
President Trump didn't divulge what the deal with Russia entailed, but called it fair. The Kremlin says a Russian citizen behind bars in the U.S. had been freed as part of the swap.
I just got dizzy. I thought, did I get this right?
Mark Fogel's 95-year-old mother says this day has been a long time coming.
I just want to see him. I just want to touch him. He will be a basket case. He will just cry and cry and cry.
President Trump said he believes Fogel's release could help play a role in advancing cooperation with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The president also hinted at the release of another American detainee today, but did not say who.